We're your go-to YouTube channel for deep dive comic book analysis and untold stories from the panels. In today's deep dive, we will examine 10 superheroes who are stronger than Superman.
Everyone knows Superman, the Man of Steel, the single most powerful superhero in existence. Or is he? It's true. He can juggle planets and outrace light itself. But the long-held belief that he's completely unbeatable is, frankly, a myth. In the vast, sprawling universes of both DC and Marvel, there are beings with the raw power, the mystical abilities, or the sheer, overwhelming mental force to not just challenge Superman, but to defeat him for good. For decades, the character of Superman has been the gold standard for power. He's the benchmark against which all other heroes are measured. When a new powerhouse appears on the scene, the first question is always, but could they beat Superman? The answer is almost always a resounding no. He's invulnerable, he's impossibly strong, he's incredibly fast, and he can shoot heat from his eyes. On paper, he is the perfect weapon, the ultimate hero. But perfection is an illusion, especially in the world of comic books. Superman has weaknesses, vulnerabilities, that are just as famous as his strengths. And it is in exploiting these weaknesses that the door opens for others to claim the top spot. We're not just talking about a lucky punch or a temporary victory. We're talking about a definitive, conclusive win. Today, we're going to shatter the myth of invincibility. We're counting down 10 superheroes, 5 from his own DC universe, and 5 from the rival Marvel universe, who have what it takes to put the Man of Steel down for the count. We'll look into their powers, their greatest feats, and the exact strategies they could employ to achieve the impossible. Prepare to see the last son of Krypton in a whole new light. Section 1, Number 10, Superboy Prime, DC. Kicking off our list is a name that sends a shiver down the spine of anyone familiar with DC's cosmic events, Superboy Prime. Now, to be clear, calling him a hero is a major stretch, as his history is one of tragedy, rage, and universe-shattering villainy. However, he originated as a hero, and his power set is a terrifying extension of Superman's own, making him the perfect starting point for this discussion. Coming from the pre-crisis world of Earth Prime, a world where superheroes were just comic book characters, Superboy Prime was the only superpowered being in his reality. When his universe was destroyed, he was preserved in a paradise dimension. But watching the new universe's heroes from afar, he grew bitter and disillusioned, believing them to be unworthy. His descent into madness came to a head during the Infinite Crisis event, where he emerged as a primary antagonist, fueled by a toxic rage and a belief in his own superiority. So, what makes him stronger than the Superman we know and love? It comes down to a few key factors. First, his power source. Like all Kryptonians, he metabolizes yellow sun radiation, but his body does so at a much more efficient and frightening rate. His power levels are reminiscent of the Silver Age Superman, a version of the character known for literally sneezing away solar systems. He possesses all of Superman's abilities: strength, speed, flight, invulnerability, heat vision, but amplified to an insane degree. He has proven strong enough to physically punch holes in reality itself, an act that is almost impossible to comprehend. During the Sinestro Corps' war, his power was so immense that it took the combined might of Superman and another powerful Kryptonian, Supergirl, just to slow him down. Even then, they couldn't defeat him outright. But his biggest advantage is his immense resistance to magic. One of Superman's most well-known and exploitable weaknesses is his vulnerability to magical attacks. While not completely immune, Superboy Prime has shrugged off magical blows from heavy hitters like Black Adam, claiming they merely tickled. This resistance, combined with his already superior physical stats, removes one of the most reliable methods of defeating a Kryptonian. Plus, he's worn a special suit of solar armor that constantly collected and fed him yellow sun energy, effectively eliminating the need to recharge and keeping him at his absolute peak at all times. How does he win? It's not a battle of wits or strategy. It's a brutal, overwhelming beatdown. Superboy Prime is faster, stronger, and more durable than Superman. He doesn't hold back. His rage means he fights with a ferocity that Superman, with his moral code and restraint, simply cannot match. While Superman is trying to find a way to de-escalate the situation, Superboy Prime is trying to tear him apart. He can't be easily weakened by magic, and his solar armor means he's a constantly regenerating engine of destruction. The fight would be a devastating slugfest, but in the end, Prime's superior power and sheer viciousness would overwhelm the Man of Steel. Section 2, Number 9, Captain Atom, DC. At number 9, we have a hero who is, for all intents and purposes, a walking, talking nuclear reactor, Captain Atom. Once a United States Air Force officer named Nathaniel Atom, he was framed for a crime he didn't commit. To avoid a life sentence, he volunteered for a dangerous military experiment. The experiment involved testing the hull of a crashed alien ship against an atomic blast. The result was unexpected. Atom's body was fused with the alien metal, catapulting him decades into the future. When he finally reformed, he was encased in a metallic shell, possessing near absolute control over the quantum field. Captain Atom is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, though he's often underrated. His abilities are staggering. He can absorb, generate, and manipulate virtually limitless amounts of energy. He can fire powerful energy blasts, create constructs, become intangible, and transmute matter on a subatomic level. He can even absorb the energy from a supernova. His strength and durability are often shown to be on par with Superman's, allowing him to go toe-to-toe with the Man of Steel in a physical confrontation. He has done so on several occasions in the comics, and the fights are always catastrophic. But what truly gives Captain Atom the edge is the nature of his power. Superman's powers come from the solar radiation stored in his cells. Captain Atom's power is nuclear and quantum-based. Because he can manipulate energy on a fundamental level, it's theorized he could generate red sun radiation. Superman's powers are derived from a yellow sun. Exposure to radiation from a red sun drains his powers and leaves him as vulnerable as a normal human. If Captain Atom can indeed generate this energy type at will, he could effectively turn Superman's greatest strength into a crippling weakness. On top of that, Captain Atom's body is a containment vessel for his vast quantum energy. If his shell is ever breached, the result is a catastrophic explosion with the force of a nuclear bomb or even greater. This creates a no-win scenario for Superman. If Superman holds back, Captain Atom can use his vast array of energy manipulation powers to wear him down and potentially depower him with red sun radiation. If Superman goes all out and manages to damage Captain Atom's suit, he risks unleashing a quantum explosion that could not only kill him, but also obliterate everything and everyone for miles around. It is a form of mutually assured destruction that Superman's moral compass would prevent him from ever triggering. The path to victory for Captain Atom is clear and methodical. The fight would begin with a physical brawl, where Atom could match Superman blow for blow. But the moment Atom decides to end it, he can shift tactics. He could start by attempting to emit red sun radiation, weakening Superman progressively. As the Man of Steel's strength fades, his invulnerability would falter. At this point, Captain Atom could either defeat him with a concentrated blast of quantum energy or simply wait for Superman to become completely powerless before knocking him out. He has the perfect theoretical tool to dismantle Superman's power set from the inside out, making him a surefire bet to win this matchup. Section 3. Number 8, the Sentry, Marvel. Crossing over to the Marvel Universe for our number 8 spot, we find one of its most enigmatic and terrifyingly powerful heroes, the Sentry. Robert Bob Reynolds was a seemingly ordinary man who, seeking a fix, broke into a laboratory and consumed a secret formula. This golden Sentry serum was an attempt to recreate the super soldier serum that created Captain America, but amplified 100,000-fold. The result was the birth of the Sentry, a hero with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. For a long time, the Sentry was Marvel's closest equivalent to Superman. He possessed immense super strength, super speed, invulnerability, flight, and the ability to project powerful energy blasts. His feats are the stuff of legend. He has fought the Hulk to a standstill, played a key role in confronting a celestial threat, and even tore the god of war, Ares, in half with his bare hands. His power level is so immense that most of Marvel's heroes are visibly unnerved by his presence. However, the Sentry's greatest power is also his greatest curse. His mind is fractured, giving rise to a dark, malevolent aspect of himself known as the Void. The Void is a being of pure darkness and nihilism, whose power is terrifyingly vast. For every heroic act the Sentry performs, the Void commits an act of equal and opposite terror. To save the world from the Void, the Sentry, with the help of Reed Richards and Doctor Strange, erased the memory of his own existence from the entire world, including himself. So how does this tortured hero defeat Superman? It's a matter of sheer, overwhelming power. While it's debatable whether his base strength is definitively higher than Superman's, his upper limits are undefined and terrifying. The phrase power of 1,000,000 exploding suns hints at his ability to manipulate energy on a solar scale. This includes not just projecting energy, but also a degree of molecular manipulation. He has demonstrated the ability to resurrect himself from death and even bring others back to life, showcasing a control over matter and life force that is far beyond Superman's capabilities. The fight against Superman would be a clash of titans. In a straight physical contest, they would be remarkably evenly matched, trading blows that could shatter mountains. But the Sentry has a hidden gear that Superman lacks. As the fight progresses, the Sentry's control over his own mental state is the key. If he were to let go, even for a moment, the Void could begin to emerge. The Void is a psychic and physical threat of the highest order. It can manipulate darkness, induce crippling fear, and has shown shape-shifting abilities and tendrils that have restrained even the Hulk. Superman is famously resistant to telepathy, but the Void's influence is more of a primal, existential terror. More importantly, the sheer destructive output of a fully unleashed Sentry, or worse, the Void, is something Superman may not be able to withstand. The Sentry has the raw power to fight the Green Scar version of the Hulk to a standstill. In his most stable and heroic form, the Sentry is a match for Superman. But if he taps into the deeper, darker aspects of his power, he becomes a force of cosmic destruction. The victory could come from the Sentry unleashing a level of energy that eventually overloads Superman's ability to absorb and endure it, a golden god outshining the last son of Krypton. Section 4. Number 7, Dr. Fate, DC. Returning to the DC universe, our number 7 spot goes to a character who perfectly represents one of Superman's greatest weaknesses, Dr. Fate. While several individuals have worn the helmet of fate, the most famous is the original, Kent Nelson. An archaeologist, Nelson stumbled upon the tomb of the ancient Mesopotamian god Nabu the Wise. In the process, he was granted magical powers by Nabu to become his agent in the mortal realm. When Kent Nelson dons the helmet of fate, he becomes a vessel for Nabu's consciousness, transforming into Dr. Fate, one of the most powerful magic users in the DC universe. Superman is, for all his power, a physical being. His invulnerability works wonders against bullets, bombs, and brute force. But magic operates on a completely different set of rules. Magical attacks bypass his invulnerability entirely, affecting him as they would any normal person. A simple magical curse that might inconvenience another hero could be lethal to the Man of Steel. And Dr. Fate isn't just a simple magician. He is an agent for a Lord of Order, wielding power that can rewrite the laws of physics. Dr. Fate's abilities are nearly limitless, bound only by the rules of magic itself. He can teleport across galaxies, phase through solid objects, cast powerful illusions, read minds, and fire bolts of mystical energy that can harm even cosmic entities. He can conjure shields capable of deflecting blows from beings as strong as Superman and create constructs out of pure magical energy. His knowledge of the occult is unparalleled, granting him access to a near infinite number of spells for any given situation. He is, in essence, a living Swiss Army knife of cosmic magic. A battle between Dr. Fate and Superman wouldn't be a fistfight. It would be a lesson in humility for the Kryptonian. Superman's usual tactics would be utterly useless. He could fly at Fate at superspeed, only to phase right through him, or find himself teleported to the other side of the universe. He could try to use his heat vision, but Fate could erect a magical shield that would absorb or deflect the blast with ease. Any attempt at a physical assault would be met with an arsenal of magical counters. The path to victory for Dr. Fate is brutally straightforward. He wouldn't need to match Superman's strength, because he can simply negate it. Theoretically, Fate could cast a spell to transmute the air around Superman into kryptonite, instantly crippling him. He could trap him in a pocket dimension from which there is no escape. He could conjure the spirits of Krypton to torment him psychologically. Or, more simply, he could just hit him with a raw bolt of untamed magical energy, an attack that Superman's body has absolutely no natural defense against. The power gap here isn't one of strength, but of category. Superman is playing checkers, while Dr. Fate is playing multi-dimensional chess. Fate's mastery over magic is a fundamental counter to everything Superman is. He doesn't need to be physically stronger, because his power operates on a plane of existence that Superman cannot touch. It would be a short, decisive, and magical defeat for the Man of Steel. Section 5. Number 6. The Hulk, Marvel. And number 6 is a character who embodies pure, unadulterated physical force, the Incredible Hulk. Dr. Bruce Banner, a brilliant scientist, was caught in the blast of a gamma bomb he created. Now, whenever he is subjected to stress or rage, he transforms into the green-skinned monster known as the Hulk. Unlike Superman, whose strength is vast but finite, the Hulk's power has a terrifyingly simple rule. The madder he gets, the stronger he gets. This simple mechanic is what makes the Hulk one of the most dangerous beings in the Marvel Universe. In-universe sources like the Beyonder have claimed there is no finite element or upper limit to his strength. His power is potentially infinite, fueled by an emotion that only grows more potent in the heat of battle. He has performed incredible feats, like holding up the weight of a star and being credited with shattering massive asteroids. He has fought and defeated entire teams of heroes, cosmic beings, and literal gods. A fight between Superman and the Hulk is one of the most debated matchups in all of comic book history. It's the classic unstoppable force versus the immovable object. In the beginning of the fight, Superman would likely have the advantage. His base strength is immense, and he possesses powers the Hulk lacks, such as flight and heat vision. He could land powerful blows and use his speed to stay out of the Hulk's reach. For a short while, it would seem like Superman has the fight under control. But that's the trap. Every punch Superman lands, every blast of heat vision he fires, would only serve to make the Hulk angrier. And as his anger grows, so does his strength. The initial gap in power would begin to close, and then it would vanish entirely. Soon, the Hulk would be matching Superman's blows. Then he would be exceeding them. Superman's durability is legendary, but it's not infinite. The Hulk's strength, on the other hand, is said to have limitless potential. He is a walking, raging paradox. The longer you fight him, the more certain your defeat becomes. Furthermore, the Hulk possesses an insane healing factor. Any damage he sustains is repaired almost instantly. This, combined with his ever-increasing strength, means that he can outlast nearly any opponent. Superman can be worn down. He can be injured. The Hulk, at his peak, simply endures and gets stronger. We saw this in the World War Hulk storyline, where a focused and royally enraged Hulk returned to Earth and systematically defeated many of Marvel's most powerful heroes, fighting the Sentry to a mutual standstill. This version of the Hulk, often called the Green Scar, was a force of nature that simply could not be stopped by physical means. How does the Hulk win? By doing what he does best: smashing. Superman's speed and flight would prolong the inevitable, but he can't run forever. Eventually, he has to engage the Hulk physically. And in a prolonged physical battle, the Hulk's infinite potential for strength could triumph over Superman's finite, albeit vast, power. It would be a war of attrition that Superman is almost mathematically guaranteed to lose. The Hulk would endure every single thing Superman could throw at him until he becomes strong enough to grab the Man of Steel and simply break him. Section 6, Number 5, Martian Manhunter, DC. Back in the DC universe, our number 5 pick is a hero who is not only Superman's peer in many physical aspects, but also possesses a devastating arsenal of abilities that Superman has no answer for. Jian's the Martian Manhunter. He is the last survivor of his Martian race, accidentally teleported to Earth by a scientist. Since then, he has become one of Earth's greatest protectors and a founding member of the Justice League. In terms of raw physical power, Martian Manhunter is often considered to be in the same league as Superman. He has super strength, super speed, invulnerability, flight, and even his own version of heat vision called Martian Vision. In a straight fistfight, he can trade blows with Superman and other powerhouse characters. He is incredibly durable, able to withstand immense physical punishment. But his physical abilities are just the tip of the iceberg. What makes Jian so unbelievably dangerous, and what gives him the decisive edge over Superman, are his other Martian powers. First and foremost is his telepathy. He is arguably the most powerful telepath on Earth, capable of reading minds, creating illusions, controlling thoughts, and shutting down a person's brain entirely. Superman has some training to resist telepathic attacks, but he is not immune, and Jian's power is on a level that can overwhelm even the strongest minds. He once scanned the minds of every single person on Earth simultaneously. A focused psychic assault from Jian could leave Superman catatonic before he could even throw a punch. But it doesn't stop there. Martian Manhunter is also a master shapeshifter, able to alter his physical form at will. He can become as small as an insect or as large as a skyscraper. This ability also grants him an incredible healing factor, as he can simply reform his body if it's damaged. Perhaps his most potent ability is his power of intangibility, or phasing. He can make his body completely insubstantial, allowing him to pass through solid objects. This makes him almost impossible to hit. Superman could fly at him at Mach 10, and Jian could simply let him pass harmlessly through his body. While intangible, Jian could phase his hand into Superman's chest and then re-solidify it, causing catastrophic internal injuries. The fight is a tactical nightmare for Superman. He is facing an opponent who is about as strong as he is, but who he cannot physically touch. Every offensive move Superman makes can be rendered useless by phasing. Meanwhile, Jian is constantly attacking him on a mental plane, battering down his psychic defenses. It's a battle on two fronts, and Superman is only equipped to handle one of them. The path to victory for Martian Manhunter is a masterclass in versatility. He could engage Superman physically to gauge his strength, then turn intangible to avoid any counterattack. From there, he has multiple ways to win. The quickest method would be a direct telepathic assault, shutting down Superman's mind completely. Alternatively, he could phase his hand into Superman's skull and incapacitate him from the inside. With such a diverse and powerful arsenal, Martian Manhunter has more ways to win than Superman has ways to fight. Section 7, Number 4, Doctor Strange, Marvel. Our number 4 spot brings us back to Marvel, into the concept of a fundamental power mismatch. Much like Dr. Fate in the DC universe, Marvel has its own master of the mystic arts, and his power is so vast it can warp reality itself. He is Dr. Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Once a brilliant but arrogant surgeon, Strange lost the use of his hands in a car accident. Searching for a cure, he traveled the world and eventually found his way to the Ancient One in Camartage. There, he shed his ego and trained to become the most powerful magician in his dimension. As the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange is Earth's primary defender against mystical threats. His power is not physical. It is drawn from a variety of cosmic and mystical sources, allowing him to bend the very fabric of existence to his will. He can cast spells that can bind gods, travel between dimensions, and has demonstrated the ability to manipulate time. His power is limited only by his knowledge, his willpower, and the potential cost of the spells he casts. Pitting Doctor Strange against Superman is like asking a grandmaster chess player to fight a heavyweight boxer. The boxer is stronger, but he's playing the wrong game. Superman's strength, speed, and durability are all but irrelevant in this contest. Doctor Strange would never allow the fight to become a physical one. From the moment the battle began, Strange would control the environment and the rules of engagement. Instead of the MCU's mirror dimension, Strange could trap Superman in one of countless hostile dimensions from the comics, where Strange himself can warp the landscape and physics at will. He could try to fly, only to find that gravity has been reversed. He could try to punch Strange, only to find himself punching an endless series of duplicates created by the images of Icon. Every one of Superman's powers would be systematically dismantled by a corresponding magical counter. Doctor Strange has an answer for everything. Heat vision? A simple shield of the Seraphim would absorb it. Super speed? Strange can use spells to freeze him in his tracks, or simply teleport him into the heart of a star. Super strength? Strange can cast the crimson bands of Cyttorak, mystical bindings that have held beings as strong as the Hulk. Or he could simply cast a spell to make the ground beneath Superman's feet swallow him whole. The how they win scenario is almost laughably one-sided. Strange would not even need to use his most powerful spells. He could open a portal and banish Superman to a dimension with no yellow sun, leaving him to slowly depower. He could cast a spell of illusion so powerful that Superman would believe he had won, while in reality, he would be standing perfectly still in a trance. He could even use his astral form to engage Superman on the psychic plane. A battle Superman is ill-equipped to fight. Ultimately, this fight ends the moment Doctor Strange decides it does. His command over magic is a hard counter to a physical fighter like Superman, no matter how powerful that fighter is. Superman's vulnerability to magic is his Achilles heel, and Doctor Strange is a walking, talking, reality-bending embodiment of that weakness. Section 8. Number 3 Thor, Marvel. Cracking our top 3 is the god of thunder himself, the crown prince of Asgard, Thor Odinson. As the son of Odin and Gia, Thor is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe. He is a warrior born, with thousands of years of combat experience fighting frost giants, dark elves, and celestial gods. He is strength, nobility, and the raw, untamed power of the storm all rolled into one. Thor's power set puts him squarely in Superman's weight class. His physical strength is immense, with feats including cracking moons and clashing with enough force to threaten planets. His durability is such that he has flown through the hearts of stars and survived cosmic-level attacks. He doesn't need to breathe, allowing him to fight in the vacuum of space indefinitely. In a purely physical sense, he is one of the very few beings who can stand face-to-face with Superman and not be immediately overwhelmed. But what elevates Thor beyond a simple brawler are 2 key things: his hammer, Mjolnir, or his axe, Stormbreaker, and his divine nature. Mjolnir is one of the most powerful weapons in existence. Forged from the mystical Uru metal, in the heart of a dying star, It is magically enchanted and allows Thor to channel his innate control over the weather, summoning lightning, hurricanes, and tornadoes. It can also absorb and redirect almost any form of energy. If Superman were to fire his heat vision at Thor, the god of thunder could simply absorb it with his hammer and fire it back, amplified. This brings us to Thor's greatest advantage, magic. As an Asgardian god, Thor's very existence is magical in nature. His strength, his durability, and his control over lightning are all divine, magical powers. This means that every single blow he lands on Superman, every bolt of lightning he summons, carries with it a magical property. While Superman's invulnerability protects him from the physical force of a punch, it offers far less protection from the magical energy behind Thor's fists. Every hit from Thor would bypass that unique invulnerability, hurting Superman more than a punch from a non-magical being of equal strength. Furthermore, Thor possesses the God Blast, an incredibly potent beam of his own divine life force. This attack is so powerful, it has been known to stagger cosmic entities like Galactus. It is a blast of pure, divine, magical energy that Superman would have little defense against. And if Thor were to unleash his ultimate form, Rune King Thor, he would gain access to the Odin Force and a level of cosmic and magical understanding. That would make the fight a cosmic mismatch. The fight would be legendary. They would trade blows that would shake the heavens. But while Superman relies on the brute force of his solar-powered body, Thor brings the might of a god and the power of magic. Thor could use Mjolnir to create a vortex to trap Superman, bombard him with magical lightning, and engage him in a physical battle where every one of his own attacks exploits Superman's key weakness. Eventually, Thor could land a decisive blow, either with a God Blast or simply by overwhelming Superman's compromised durability with a flurry of magically enhanced strikes. The god would triumph over the alien. Section 9, Number 2, the Spectre BC. Our runner-up is not just a hero. He is a cosmic force of nature, an entity that represents the very concept of divine retribution. This is the Spectre. Originally the spirit of a murdered police detective named Jim Corrigan, he was refused entry into the afterlife and was instead bound to the spirit of vengeance by God himself. His mission is to punish the wicked, serving as the physical embodiment of God's wrath on earth. To put it simply, the Spectre's power is, for all intents and purposes, nearly limitless. His abilities are constrained only by what his divine master, the Presence, DC's equivalent of the Abrahamic God, allows him to do. He is a nigh omnipotent being. He can manipulate time, space, and reality on a whim. He can grow to the size of a universe, destroy planets with a gesture, and alter history. He is immortal, invulnerable, and possesses a level of power that dwarfs almost every other character in the DC canon. Comparing the Spectre to Superman is like comparing the ocean to a glass of water. There is simply no contest. Superman is incredibly powerful within the physical realm, but the Spectre operates on a level of existence that is so far beyond him, it's almost comical. All of Superman's powers are rendered completely and utterly meaningless. What would a fight between them look like? It wouldn't be a fight. It would be a judgment. The Spectre would appear before Superman, and the battle would be over before it began. Superman could not harm him. No amount of physical force could affect a non-corporeal entity of divine power. It would be like a human trying to punch a hurricane. Meanwhile, the Spectre could defeat Superman in an infinite number of ways. He could turn Superman's entire body into kryptonite. He could de-age him into a helpless infant. He could erase the existence of the yellow sun that gives him his powers. He could trap him in a time loop. Or he could simply judge Superman's soul and, finding it wanting, erase him from existence with a single thought. In the famous Day of Vengeance storyline, a Spectre without a human host went on a rampage, dismantling the magical order of the DC universe. He defeated powerful magic users like Shazam and the ancient Lord of Order, Nabu, who empowers Dr. Fate beings, who we've established, could likely beat Superman on their own. The Spectre's power level is such that it takes the combined might of DC's most powerful cosmic and magical entities to even slow him down. The victory for the Spectre is absolute and instantaneous. He is not just stronger than Superman. He is on a different plane of being altogether. He is a fundamental force of the DC universe, a divine tool of vengeance. Against such a being, Superman is not a god. He is an insect. The Spectre wins because he is, by definition, an unbeatable force of divine will. Section 10. Number 1, Silver Surfer, Marvel. And now for the number 1 spot, the hero who is stronger than Superman. He is a sentinel of the spaceways, a former herald of the Devourer of Worlds, and a wielder of one of the most powerful forces in the universe. He is Rad, the Silver Surfer. To save his planet from being consumed by the cosmic entity Galactus, Rad agreed to become his herald. In exchange, Galactus imbued him with a minuscule fraction of his own cosmic power, transforming him into the Silver Surfer. That minuscule fraction of power is enough to make the Silver Surfer one of the most formidably powerful beings in all of comics. The energy he wields is called the Power Cosmic. This grants him a staggering array of abilities. He possesses superhuman strength and durability that put him in Superman's weight class. He can travel through space at speeds far exceeding light, crossing galaxies in moments. His surfboard, which is psychically linked to him, is nearly indestructible. But his physical stats are the least of his powers. He also possesses cosmic awareness, allowing him to perceive events and energies across the universe. A battle against the Silver Surfer is a battle against the universe itself. Although a canonical fight hasn't happened, we can theorize how it might go. Superman would come at him with his incredible strength and speed, but the Surfer has the tools to counter everything. He is fast enough to keep pace with Superman, and his cosmic senses would allow him to anticipate his moves. If Superman tried to punch him, the Surfer could simply become intangible, or use his matter manipulation to turn the air in front of him into a wall of solid adamantium. The Surfer's offensive capabilities are what truly seal the deal. With the Power Cosmic, he could theoretically generate red sun radiation, depowering Superman instantly, much like Captain Atom might. He could potentially use his matter manipulation to transmute Superman's costume, his skin, or the very air he breathes into kryptonite. He could absorb all the yellow sun energy from Superman's cells, leaving him powerless. He could open a black hole and drop Superman into it. A number of ways the Silver Surfer could defeat Superman is limited only by his imagination. Unlike some others on this list, the Silver Surfer is also a purely heroic and noble soul. He would not seek to kill Superman, but he would have no trouble neutralizing him. The fight would be a cosmic ballet. Superman would unleash his full might, a torrent of physical force. The Silver Surfer would calmly and gracefully counter every move, using his cosmic power to redirect, absorb, and nullify everything the Man of Steel could throw at him. The final move would be elegant and absolute. The Surfer, realizing that physical confrontation is futile, would simply reach out with the Power Cosmic and rewrite the situation. He could drain Superman of his solar energy, encase him in an unbreakable shell of cosmic energy, or simply teleport him to a peaceful, uninhabited world. The victory is achieved not through brute force, but through a complete mastery of the fundamental forces of the universe. The Silver Surfer isn't just stronger than Superman. He is a higher form of power altogether. And there you have it, 10 heroes from across 2 universes who could have what it takes to defeat the Man of Steel. From raw power and magical superiority to cosmic mastery, these characters prove that in the world of comics, there's always a bigger fish. But this is a topic that fans have debated for decades, and we know there are other powerful characters out there who could make a claim for this list. Who did we miss? Do you think someone like Jean Grey as the Phoenix, the Scarlet Witch, or even Blue Marvel should have been included? Let us know your picks in the comments below. We read every single one, and we want to know who you think could take down Superman. Conclusion. So, is Superman still one of the greatest and most powerful heroes ever created? Absolutely. His status as an icon is unshakable. But is he unbeatable? The evidence says no. Whether it's facing a god of thunder, a master of magic, or a sentinel of the spaceways, the last son of Krypton has his limits. The myth of the invincible man is just that, a myth. But it's a myth that has given us decades of incredible stories and endless debates, and that's a power in itself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look into the power levels of the comic book world, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next breakdown. We'll see you in the next one.